Is that just beautiful? Wow, thank you, Andrew. That was awesome. Thank you. So in preparation for Mother's Day, I've been reading a lot, and I thought, this Mother's Day talk, I have to tell you, I always have people that come and they say, I'm not going to be there on Mother's Day. I don't do Mother's Day. And for as many people that love Mother's Day, there's as many people that don't. And I'm finding that out on these blogs that I'm reading. I'm reading all these different blogs. And a lot of them, there's several of them, they have this let's ban Mother's Day going on, It's interesting, I really didn't realize that a lot, but until we started ministering, that there's a lot of trigger for a lot of people with it. And it's hard to go to church and hear, how wonderful everybody's mother was when you're looking, maybe mine wasn't that wonderful. So I want to talk a little bit about that today, about the mixed emotions that we all feel, because what I know is that, we each see how our thoughts of our mother are filtered through our own perceptions. And I know, like, there's 5 kids in my family, and that, each of us saw a mom. You wouldn't know it was the same mom, right? We saw mom differently. There was a lot of trouble with one of them, and one saw her as a perfect person. We all see them differently. They're all different experiences. But what is so true is that relationship with the mother or the person who raised you is probably the single most important relationship in your life, because it set this road forward, this foundation in your life. And another thing I know for sure is that it was no accident. Whatever your experience was, it was supposed to be this way. That it laid the foundation for what's to come in the world. It was part of your journey of what is going on in your experience with your mother. So today we're talking about original wholeness, and that's the name of the talk, and that's kind of where I want to go with this too, and tie it in together, because until we take an honest look at our feelings and go inside and we can come to terms with our relationship and with our experience with our mother, we won't realize our whole unique wholeness that we are. This incredible, we are divine and we're whole and we're complete, but we haven't reclaimed it yet. That's what we're talking about today, is reclaiming that original, beautiful wholeness that we are. And there is nothing more important in the whole world than to know your wholeness, than to know that we are these incredible, beautiful, divine beings, that we already are whole and complete, and being at peace with what is in our life, at what is. So what is wholeness really? And when you think about wholeness, what do you think? It's a completeness. It's an unbrokenness. It's a circle of love is what it is. It's who we are. And I got to thinking about this last night. I just let it kind of pour through me. What is wholeness? What does it feel like? Well, it feels like the qualities that we always talk about, the God qualities. And it feels like complete peace, complete love, joy, wisdom. It's compassion. And at your core, at my core, that's who we are. We are unbroken and beautiful. And so when you take away, if you just breathe in right now and just take away all the thoughts going on in your mind of everything that's gone on before you and anything negative, and all of a sudden there's an energy that runs through you of wholeness. Nobody can ever take that away. That's who you are at your very core. And that's what we're talking about today. If you think about the face before you were born, that little baby, think about where you came from. The energy of love, where you came from, into this world of duality that got a little bit tough. You came from that world of love, and you never lost it. You never lost it. It's with you always. And I think if you take anything away today, remember that's who you are. And it's always available to us, but it's so blocked because we've lost connection with this source. That's our source, is the beauty and the love. And it's who we are. And what happens is when we lose that connection, we divide. We're divided beings. We're separate. We see ourselves as separate. We're really not. But we live this divided life so long that we forget who we really are. That we have the power and the love and the wisdom and this intelligence within us all the time. But our life becomes more of a struggle, for survival, than it does this joy of thriving and living and loving our life. And that's what this whole spiritual journey is about. It's about knowing who we are and then taking it moment by moment, embracing everything that comes, and then living our life knowing that we are whole and complete and beautiful, that we have not lost that original, beautiful wholeness that we are. And how do we do that? How do we reclaim these parts that are lost? And the truth is, we reclaim them by embracing them, by loving who we are, by embracing our humanity, by embracing what came. Doesn't mean we reconciliate, doesn't mean, we have to do anything other than acknowledge and let God do God's work. Trust. I love the message, was to trust that something better can work through you. So I'm reading these different blogs, and this one gal, I want to talk about hers for a minute first, and it was Mother's Day is a Mixed Blessing, and it kind of touched my heart because she's had a difficult relationship with her mother. It was very difficult. But when she was 26, her mom was diagnosed with she was going to die. And so as her mom, she's taking care of her mother, and it's just her and her mom, and all of the friends are coming to say goodbye to her mom. And she's listening to them, and they were telling her, they're saying, oh, your mother, she's so wonderful. She was beautiful. She made me laugh, and she was funny, and she was this, and she was that. And the woman said, it was a different person than I'd known. This was not my mother. This is not how I knew my mother. And she said, it's a terrible thing to long for closeness with someone that you are afraid to get close to. And her whole life, she just longed to be close. And her mom was close to everybody, but she didn't feel it. And so she said that, through that, she kind of, would look at him and she'd smile, and, she didn't say that she didn't feel any different. But she said, all of a sudden, she said the next day, after everybody was gone, that she laid down next to her mom as she was dying, and she just stared at her. And she said, all of a sudden, she said, for the first time, I allowed my truth to be there. I stopped pretending that all was wonderful, and I let my sadness, disappointment, and anger, to the best of my ability, be there. And she said, I allowed it all to be there, and for the first time, I was whole. For the first time, she felt it, she acknowledged it, and it was whole. She said, I wasn't pretending that everything was just perfect. I let it all in. And then she said that this flood, it's a long blog, but this flood of feelings came into her. And it all of a sudden, she remembered the precious moments of her life, not just the negative moments. She said that she all of a sudden remembered of the stuff that her mom had been through, that she'd married this GI and had her, and the GI left her, and she was alone, and she got sick. Her mom went through all of this stuff, and she said all of this stuff flooded through her, this big story of her life, and she said that all of a sudden, this love and this quietness came through her. And she said, now, every day, she finds a little more compassion for my mom and her journey. She said, wholeness is about acknowledging all of what happened and allowing the feelings to be just as they are. This is the way the light gets in. The energy of hurt and resentment, that energy, there's only one energy, remember this, and the energy of hurt and resentment turned into compassion and wisdom. And it changed her life. It changed her life as she saw this mother, that she longed to be close with there. And this whole picture, this different picture came in. She said, I opened up and I let spirit just work on me. And the story of the pain turned to the story of courage for her. She said that I had to just let it all go and know, that it was supposed to be. And it informed my journey forward to be the woman that I am today. She said I had to open up and let spirit do the work. So Linda, Luke, has a blog, which Linda's here, and I love your blog. You've got a neat website. And you wrote something that I love too. And just like this woman, it was a different story than this woman had. But what you said was that you dropped the stories and there was something that was left. So I want to read your blog because I think it's so important. She said, Linda says that when my mom passed away 21 years ago, I loved her deeply, but I also felt so disconnected. See what I'm saying? This is common. This is a common thread. So if you're feeling that you're unusual, you're not. This was not, it's normal. It's okay to feel this disconnect from somebody that we love. I would have told you it was because of family issues, but the truth was that I was just stuck in all the stories and the emotion and the emotional pain of it. But as I worked on healing my past, I started to label my mom as a victim. Poor mom, she never learned to drive and she had no freedom. She sometimes felt trapped in her marriage, and she suffered from the debilitating effects of the diabetes that eventually killed her. And then one day, I had a moment of clarity. I decided to just drop the labels and the stories and just appreciate her. What happened next changed my life. Once everything dropped, the stories and the labels were stripped away, the only thing that remained was love. I could feel my mom loving me, even from beyond the grave, and my heart was filled with incredible love for her. So 21 years after her death, my mom and I have a great relationship. I'm free to love her now and feel the love that she has for me, and I'm so grateful for all that she's taught me, including the lesson of how to let go of the labels and allow miracles to happen in my life. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love that. The truth is that all that's left when we let everything go, at first we can't let it go till we embrace it. We embrace it, we acknowledge that it's there, and we take that energy and the stuff just comes together and the energy of love moves through you, because that's all that's left. All that's left is the original wholeness that we have when you can look at everything from a bigger perspective and you can see it differently. So perhaps there's something today that you can look at in your relationship, that you can find that feeling of original wholeness in the experience that you had with the person that nurtured you. And that's my prayer for all of us today, for me, for each of you, is that we touch the original wholeness that we are within our mother and within us.